Folks, the Vancouver Canucks cannot have nice things. It is embedded, boiled into, infused into their DNA that positive things and positive endeavors are just not in store for this team. Case in point, the Vancouver Canucks lost to the Winnipeg Jets today, 5-3. Pretty entertaining game, all things considered. There were a bunch of goals, especially in the first period. There was a pretty big comeback, because Captain Quinn Hughes ended up getting hurt in this one. But you know who also got hurt? And who, unfortunately, unlike Quinn Hughes, was not able to return to this hockey game? Thatcher Demko. Now, you probably already know just what happened if you're watching this video. I assume you're a fan, you want to get some reviews and thoughts out there on tonight's game, but Thatcher Demko lasted just one period after missing back-to-back games on the weekend, sidelined due to preventative maintenance. A situation where the Vancouver Canucks essentially said, hey, Demko is not feeling 100%, so we are going to sideline him, we're going to call up Jiri Patera, and Demko can have the next few days off here. But he should be good to go against Winnipeg on Tuesday, right? Well, it's not like one particular play happened, or somebody ran into the crease that caused Demko to get hurt. But more so, it just seems like the wear and tear of an NHL game was too much for him to handle at this point. Now, we're all waiting for any extra conclusions or any extra info as to what actually happened or what caused the departure from today's contest. But Thatcher Demko lasted one period. There was some footage of him during a commercial break in the first period, stretching out his legs and trying to get into a proper butterfly stance. You can see him putting some pressure on his groin area or whatever. I'm not going to speculate on specifically what it is that he was feeling, but Thatcher Demko was not able to come back in periods 2 and 3. And it was quite a shame, really, because he let in 3 goals in the first period on... How many shots did he face in that first? It was not a lot. Thatcher Demko let in 3 goals on 8 shots against, so he had a .625 save percentage in this one. Kevin Lankinen comes in periods 2 and 3. He only lets in 1, and he has a .952 save percentage in this game. Unfortunately, though, it's not enough, and Thatcher Demko, whom I decided to sit today in fantasy hockey because I was like, yeah, I got Swayman, I got Wedgwood, I would need to activate Demko off the IR and drop a guy, and I don't want to lose out on the man game, so I'm just going to leave Demko on the IR and see what happens. Good choice by me, because he ended up getting hurt, and based off of how he left the game, I would be very shocked if Demko came back later this week and became an immediate #1 starting option for this hockey team. I mean, at this point, it was already talked about on Donnie and Dolly earlier yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was. It's like, yeah, no, Demko cannot be relied to be a 50-game starter in the National Hockey League anymore. And that was before he got hurt today. What more now? I don't want to go into total disaster mode conversation, but, you know, Canucks fans were talking about Filipino and the situation with him and his safety, whether or not it's probable, possible, or even a good decision to continue his hockey playing career. I'm not saying Demko should retire, but I am saying that now the idea of his long-term projectability being in question, that's a very legitimate and fair idea to bring up now. If it wasn't yesterday, it is now. After all the injuries he had sustained, for as talented as he is and as game-changing of a goaltender Thatcher Demko can be, I think we now have to start acknowledging that a long-term 50, 60-plus game season for Demko might not ever happen again. That is, of course, unless things fully turned themselves around over the course of his $8.5 million AAV contract. Big bets done by Patrick Allvin in the summer, and bets that I think a lot of Canucks fans were on board with, but now You know, it's hindsight, right? Oh, how did the Vancouver Canucks make the wrong decision every time? How do they trade the wrong guy when they trade away Bo instead of JT? How do they trade away the wrong guy when they keep Kevin Lankinen over Artur Shilovs, who is doing well? How do they make the wrong decision by giving Demko all this money? I mean, wrong. Is it really wrong? I don't know. We'll let the entire grand scheme of the Vancouver Canucks hockey story play out over the next 10 years, and then we'll decide whether or not it's right or wrong, like we can say with the Vancouver Canucks' inability to commit to a rebuild in 2014. Anyways, let's actually talk about this game, because Vancouver did lose, but it was a pretty big coming-out party for some notable players on this hockey team. In particular, Quinn Hughes. He got himself hurt in the second period. He ended up hooking Mark Scheifele, and in the midst of that little hooking exchange, Scheifele ended up battling back, and Hughes got hurt. You could see him wincing in pain after the moment, and he ended up leaving the hockey game for an extended period of time. Thankfully, though, for Vancouver, he did come back. And this was another hit that Vancouver absolutely could not have afforded to get on their captain over here. If Quinn Hughes was out for the remainder of the game, and for a good chunk of the year, then okay. Just imagine how, when it rains it pours, it fully falls down like the Vancouver city it is here. But Quinn Hughes had himself a night. He had 3 assists. He assisted on all of Vancouver's goals, and I was feeling quite lukewarm about it because the guy I'm playing in fantasy this week has Quinn Hughes, and I was like, oh man, every single point the guy scores, it hurts me, technically. But after Winnipeg gets off to a pretty quick start in this hockey game, they got themselves the 1-0 goal. Jonathan Toews deflected it in the crease off of his skate, and by Demko, you had Kiefer Sherwood scoring off of a really nice give-and-go play with Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes picks the puck up in the neutral zone, drops it back to Sherwood, Sherwood to Hughes, back out to Sherwood as 44 and 43 play give-and-go down the left wing. Sherwood with a beautiful shot. That's his 11th goal on the season. It is yet again near the top of the National Hockey League. Quinn Hughes has 10 assists on the year with this goal. Give it just 1 minute, and you have Jake DeBrusk on the power play, getting his 6th of the year, and Quinn Hughes gets himself another assist. This is a nice play where Quinn throws it up to Jake DeBrusk. He just walks in, shoots, and he scores. Beautiful. He beats Connor Hellebuyck from distance. He rarely takes that kind of a shot, I feel. It's quite rare that he actually decides to fire it from out, but it beats Hellebuyck. It's a perfectly placed shot over the pad under the blocker there, and Quinn Hughes gets a power play point. Elias Pettersson also assisted on this one as well, so DeBrusk from Hughes and Petey. But then just a few minutes later, you had Josh Morrissey also on the power play. Marcus Petey has the puck in the corner and he can't clear it. Vancouver fumbles it, and eventually Morrissey gets it back. He shoots, he scores. Ay. The PK has been really bad for Vancouver this season. Ever since the structure change and ever since some of the personnel ended up leaving, no Joshua, no Suter, no whomever, it's been a pretty big disaster on the year. Nino Niederreiter, just 15-something seconds later, ends up scoring on the very next face-off play as Adam Lowry, down low in the Vancouver Canucks zone, is able to throw it out in front. It's a deflected shot. Nino Niederreiter's right there on the doorstep. It goes in. 3-2 Winnipeg. There aren't any goals in the second period, but in the third you see Gabe Vilardi scoring on a backhand right in front. This is also a power play goal, assisted by Kyle Connor and Josh Morrissey. Lankinen didn't really have much that he could do here, honestly, and it's the only goal that he let in, so I'm more able to let him off the hook for this one. Vilardi was in tight, nobody was on him, and it's a really nice no-look backhander play that goes up and over the shoulder. Brock Boeser made things interesting with a minute and a half to go in the third period as he ends up burying a Elias Pettersson shot rebound right in front of Connor Hellebuyck. It's another play assisted by Quinn Hughes, and Vancouver brings the game within 1 before Alex Iafallo scores on the empty net and gives the Jets the 5-3 victory. It's their first victory in 3 games. They lost all their California games, these Winnipeg Jets did, but I think The story of the game itself is bigger than the game itself, and Thatcher Demko's reliability and stability in an NHL crease is really starting to be questioned here. Vancouver cannot get good things, man. But Quinn Hughes, he went out there and did some good stuff. 3 points. We're really starting to see him awaken at this part of the year. I'm just kind of thinking, it couldn't have happened a week later. Anyways, I'm being selfish. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets. What are your thoughts on Thatcher Demko and his health situation? Let me know how you think in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trolls 99. And bye.